Okay, what's the slope of the line? Well, we were going to use the formula m, the slope, equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, change in y over change in x. And I'm going to rewrite the points over here, negative 2, comma 2, and 8, comma negative 5. And you should know that either one works for point 1 and the other one works for point 2 is fine. So I'm going to call this one x1 and y1, x2 and y2. Okay, and that is the x coordinate of point number 1, y coordinate of point number 1, x coordinate of point number 2, y coordinate of point number 2. And as I said, these are reversible. You could have called this x2 and y2, and this one x1 and y1. What you've just got to be careful is that whatever you're calling x1 and y1, they both come from the same point. Whatever you're calling x2 and y2, they come from the same point. Okay, so let's then substitute it in. I like to write it like this and then just fill in because then there's no confusion if there's subtracting negatives and things like that. So y2, negative 5, y1, 2, x2, 8, x1, negative 2. And then when we simplify those, we've got m equals negative 7 over 8 minus negative 2, or 8 plus 2, 10. So we've got a slope of negative 7/10. Okay, let's tackle these one at a time. What's the slope of the line? We need to use the formula for finding a slope, which is m is representing the slope, hopefully you know that, is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, otherwise known as the change in y over the change in x. Okay, so let's sub in what we know. We're going to pick, we've got these 2 points here. The 2 points, I'm going to rewrite them so that they're a little bit clearer. The 2 points are negative 2, comma negative 2, and 2, comma 8. Okay, negative 2, comma negative 2 right there, and 2, comma 8 right there. So we're going to label these then. We're going to call this the x coordinate of point number 1 and the y coordinate of point number 1, and the x coordinate of point number 2, y coordinate of point number 2. Yep. And I will stop saying here that either point will work as point 1 and point 2. You need to know that, and if you don't know it by now, you're not listening. So I'm not just going to keep saying it because it's not. There's no value in saying it over and over and over again when I've said it a bunch in class and in the videos. So either one can be point 1, either one can be point 2. Now, let's substitute in for y2. So let's say y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and let's drop those values in. Okay, y2 is 8, y1 is negative 2, x2 is 2, x1 is negative 2. And now when we simplify this, we get 8 minus negative 2, or 8 plus 2, is 10, over 2 minus negative 2, or 2 plus 2, is 4, and that simplifies to 5/2. So we have then a slope of 5/2. And we can just verify that by just checking, watch. If we start from a point we know, can we rise 5 and run 2 and get back on the line? Rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, run 2. Yep, right there. Did it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, run 2. Yep, there we go. Okay. And the reason that we can do it twice is because this can be simplified down by a factor of 2. So you could do it twice to get from one point to the other. Okay. Okay, last one. I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to rewrite the 2 points. -1, comma 4, just because they're written a little bit sloppy in the problem. They're kind of buried in there, hard to label really easily. And I want to label them as x1, y1, and x2, y2. And we say m, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Notice how I rewrite that every time first. I do that because it's nice to be clear about which formula we're applying before we apply it. Okay, so then we say y2, 1, minus y1, 4, over x2, 6, minus x1, -1. And when we simplify that, we get m, the slope, is equal to -3 over 7. And you will need to do this. This is its own problem right now, but you're going to need to do this in the context of a larger problem later where you may have to be writing equations. And the first thing you need to do is find the slope, and then you need to go from there. So this isn't always the end result, is just identifying the slope. Sometimes you have to take that information and then say, plug it into point slope form or something like that. Okay.